Hey there guys, Recommend here, and welcome back for another Bleach. I don't know why I have my hands up like this to say Bleach. Bleach chapter review 671, Perfect Crimson 2. Yeah, back with the chapter titles again. Okay, turns out I screwed up on something, which may not come as a surprise. It came as a surprise to me because I was 100% sure of it when I said it, but I was wrong. And pretty much what I screwed up on was that Tosho had said that he said that when the last petal breaks, his Bankai ends. Turns out he never said that. It's pretty much everyone else around him who said that to him or about him. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Alright, now actually to the chapter. So the chapter starts off backwards last time. Like, it's kind of been doing well. Like, I've noticed this a lot in like the recent fights than I did before. But you're just kind of like using like the last two pages, kind of forming them into like, kind of just like shifts them around, like gives different angles or whatever. Says the things slightly differently. And just kind of sets its place. So he's just pretty much saying like the whole thing like, I never said that when my last pal breaks my Bankai, and it's just kind of what you guys assumed. And then he says, yeah, I've aged a bit. Yeah, a little bit. He looks like he went from a 14-year-old to like a 30-year-old, I don't know, like a 20-year-old man. He's just kind of saying like, between you and me, I don't really like my adult self, but the fangirls really do. And so Gerard just like kind of like looks over at him. He just says, who the hell are you? And Tosho's just like, well, I'm Tosho Hitsugaya. And he just starts kind of saying that like, oh, well, this is better because, you know, your child self really wasn't that worthy of an opponent, but now, how you are right now, you really seem like a worthy opponent. So he brings his sword down. Tosho dodges it. Gerard throws a shield at him, and he just kind of like sticks out his hand and just freezes it. Gerard starts bringing his sword down, and then Tosho just cuts the sword in half. How much more powerful did he become? Like, is the weakness of his Bankai that for the first like hour he uses it, he's kind of the worst thing ever, but then if he can survive the fight for that hour, he becomes unbeatable? If so, I mean, I guess that's a fair trade-off for how much he sucks before this. I mean, the only time he actually beat someone was when he fought Grimmjow's Fraction. I think I said that right. That's like the only time he's like won a fight without assistance. Yeah, I mean, other than when he was a zombie, but that really doesn't count. And so Gerard just kind of says, like, don't you remember what the power of my Hope Blade is? And Tosho says, yeah, well, my power froze it. Your power doesn't work when I freeze it, which I don't... Why? Wouldn't that just, like, cut you in half and freeze you too? Or do you have, like, the ability to not only freeze objects, but you can also, like, freeze other people's powers, which, again, would be pretty overpowered unless you were fighting someone like Kenpachi where their only power is that they're super strong. And so Tosho pretty much just says, yeah, you can't use anything, like, you can't use any, like, physical, like, big old weapons against me. And so Gerard just, like, pulls out his ginormous Quincy bow, which, during Yasmin's fight, I'm pretty sure I said that his bow was my favorite, but this bow looks awesome. It just does. I mean, look at that. I don't even know what it is about it. It just looks awesome. So Gerard says he has to resort to something he says I shall simply have to resort to using something which I cannot have its function tampered with in any way, which means crushing you with a pure turn to power. And Tosho's just kind of like, well, it kind of sucks that you arrived at that conclusion literally a second too late, and then, like, he uses a new technique called Shikai Hyoketsu, which the Shikai in his attack is not the same Shikai as what all the not the well, technically, what all the Soul Reapers use. So I won't go into it too much. Just like if you want to know more, just kind of look it up. And he says, by unleashing Daigar and Hyoramaru, in a matter of 4 seconds, I can freeze all before me, be it wind, earth, air, or fire. But Gerard just kind of like taking none of that shiz because he just breaks out, and he doesn't look unscathed, but he's still not frozen, which continues to prove that none of his all-freezing attacks will ever work on someone. Like he did that thing against Holly Bell. Wonderwise, I forgot his name there for a second. I almost called him Askin. I don't know why. Broke it with just like a scream. This failed, and I'm pretty sure he used something else on someone, but I'm coming up blank. Whatever, it doesn't matter. He's just pretty much saying like he cannot be frozen for he's a disciple of God. And then he like falls over, and he looks behind him and he sees Kenpachi. And pretty much what the picture kind of suggesting is Kenpachi just like walked over to his foot, either stuck his fingers into his foot, just like stabbed his fingers into his foot, or just kind of like grabbed like the flesh and just like twisted it or something. He either twisted it to knock him over, or he just grabbed it, and when Gerard went to run, he was just kind of like, and his foot was stuck, and he just went boom and fell. At least that's what those are like the only two things I could think of. And yeah, Kenpachi's just kind of over there bleeding on him with his broken arm. And he looks over to kind of look like Kenpachi, but then his face just gets like frozen again. And then we see a picture of Tosho, and he has different ice wings. And they kind of look more like angel wings now, but I like how these ones look a little bit more, and there's also like these little like trails coming off of them. And he's just kind of saying like, did you really think you could touch me for this long without having some kind of effect happen to your body? Which yeah, Tosho's now so cold that just touching him freezes you now. And then all these swords appear around him, which, yeah, we're in Byakuya's Senkei mode now. And he pretty much just uses Ika Jinka, sorry. And all the swords just kind of impale him like, all the swords just come on him and just, I'm gonna say that this is probably the end of the fight. You're like, that end to the fight was pretty awesome. Like, you have Tosho just like freezing him. He goes to take out Tosho. Kenpachi just trips him. He turns to like face Kenpachi, and then his face just gets blasted and then just skewered by like every different direction like 1,000 times over. I don't know why, but like if the anime ever comes back, when that scene happens, it's going to be just like played out like pretty quick. And I feel like that'd be a pretty awesome moment to see animated, and we should totally, if you're an animator out there, animate that immediately, because that'd be awesome. That'd be amazing. And yeah, I'd say that's the end of the fight, just because this fight's been going on about the same time as all the other fights have, because like all the fights have been like, I think like 7 to like 5 chapters long each, and this has been going on for like, I think, okay, so he's pretty much had a chapter of time between all the captains attacking him beating them down easily, and then the chapter where they show up to fight, and like these 3 guys show up to fight him. Then you have when Kenpachi goes Bankai. I'm just not counting like the end of 666 where they show up to fight him. So 667, 668, 669, and 670. So that's about 5 chapters, I'd say. And I'd say like if this doesn't kill him, this is virtually unbeatable. But yeah. And I guess Byakuya might not be dying, so I could be wrong there. But yeah, that's the end of the chapter, and that's the end of the review, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
見上げていたの 視線に凍てつく心臓を握りしめた手は